Hello, I'm Maciej Mikos and you're watching World Talks. Former Polish Justice Minister Zbigniew Ziobro has been granted asylum in Hungary. He is accused in Poland of the misuse of public funds. And to talk about it, we're joined by Patryk Wachowiec, Vice President of the Civic Development Forum. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me.
Where is former Minister Zbigniew Ziobro these days? Has he fled Poland?
Yes, this was more or less expected by the political commentators and some defenders of the rule of law a few months ago, and it has happened today. He was granted asylum in Hungary. And from his point of view, from the point of view of his defense, this is obviously logical. He wants to escape the criminal responsibility that he may face in Poland. But on the other hand, politically speaking, for example, this looks like some kind of political cowardness because of the fact that for ages, for months, he has been saying that he doesn't want to escape this responsibility. He's waiting for charges and so on and so forth. So we see some kind of contradiction in his behavior.
Right, now his former boss, former Prime Minister Patryk Wachowiec, is staying in Poland despite also facing some charges, but maybe he'll change his mind too, just like Zbigniew Ziobro did. But so far, Patryk Wachowiec claims he's going nowhere and he wants to face justice in Poland. Now, what charges is Zbigniew Ziobro facing exactly?
The prosecution services has announced 26 charges against Mr. Ziobro. They haven't been announced to Ziobro personally, so legally speaking, he is not aware of them. However, there is a press release of the prosecution services saying that they more or less amount to misuse of public funds in the so-called Justice Fund by, for example, granting huge donations to NGOs or para or quasi NGOs with strong political ties to the previous government. This amounts to some up to 150 millions of zlotys, so a very large sum. And some of these charges also include hiding sensitive documents in Zbigniew Ziobro own premises. So this is also a very serious charge. But as I have said, so far no charges have been formally announced to Mr. Ziobro, and the next stage is simply the arrest hearing, which will take place on Thursday this week.
So no charges have been officially presented to the former justice minister. However, he has already fled Poland. What's his line of defense? What is Zbigniew Ziobro's line of defense here?
In his statement presented this morning, he said that he is being persecuted by Donald Tusk's government, and he gives a few examples. For example, the changes in the leadership of the prosecution services, which he deems unlawful or illegal. Changes in the leadership of courts. So Minister of Justice has decided to get rid of some presidents of courts that used to work during the Law and Justice government. And the whole atmosphere of, let's say, lawlessness, as Mr. Ziobro has said, in the country. So we must be clear that this statement is extremely misleading. Obviously, we have still not repaired many bad changes that happened during the Law and Justice government, especially in the judiciary and the prosecution services. The current president, similarly to the previous president, do not help in restoring the rule of law fully in Poland. However, the situation in our country is nowhere near comparable to what is happening, for example, in Hungary, where Mr. Ziobro has fled. We still have the essence of the right to fair trial preserved, and plenty of people, plenty of Polish citizens are surrendered to Poland under the European arrest warrant procedure from other member states to Poland. And last, in December, Mr. Ziobro,
there a European arrest? Is there a European arrest warrant for Zbigniew Ziobro?
Not yet, I assume. The prosecution service, I assume, will obtain the same tactics as with his colleague, Mr. Romanowski, who fled to Hungary and was given political asylum last year, so that should the court this Thursday decide to arrest Mr. Ziobro, then because he isn't present in Poland, a European arrest warrant will be issued. So every member state of the European Union will have legal obligation to extradite or to surrender Mr. Ziobro to Poland. Obviously, the asylum that has been granted today or a few days ago to Mr. Ziobro create some legal and political problems with this possible European arrest warrant.
I see. Now, there's another thing here that's quite unclear to me. Why does Zbigniew Ziobro want an asylum granted also for his wife?
Well, this may not be a matter of legal procedure. I suspect that this is just for practical reasons. Obviously, there have been some rumors that the company in which Ziobro's wife was working, the Link 4, the state-owned insurance company, has also there has also been some misappropriations of funds found by the internal audit, but I assume that this is only for family reasons. So far, the public opinion has not heard of any criminal or let alone political accusations against his wife. So this seems to be a kind of natural move from Ziobro to be together with his family.
So, the former Justice Minister Zbigniew Ziobro has been granted asylum in Hungary, along with his former subordinate, Deputy Justice Minister Romanowski, and so far there's no European arrest warrant that would mean that they have to be brought back to Poland. I understand. So does it mean that they will be both tried in absentia in Poland?
Well, in order to be tried in absentia, I'm not a criminal law expert, but to me, the first step is to announce officially the charges against that person. Ziobro has not received any charges, legally speaking. He knows about them because they are widely spread in the public sphere. However, legally speaking, he heard no charges so far. So, should the court decide this Thursday on the arrest of Mr. Ziobro, and later on in a separate procedure, the court should issue the European arrest warrant in respect of Mr. Ziobro, then he should be surrendered to Poland to hear those charges, and then the criminal trial will be able to begin. However, I do not expect either Mr. Ziobro to come to Poland voluntarily, or Hungarian authorities to let Ziobro go to Poland and hear those charges. So, from the point of view of the prosecution services, this situation is now and will be extremely difficult.
Well, maybe the prosecution simply needs to wait a few months because Hungary will hold parliamentary elections this year. And it's quite possible that Viktor Orban will have to step down as the prime minister. Therefore, could the asylum rights for both gentlemen be lifted soon, and they will be forced to go back to Poland?
This might be possible. Obviously, it all depends on the decision of Hungarian authorities, regardless of who is in power. But the more European sentiment of the current opposition in Hungary may mark some hope for this case. What is also striking, I have just read the statement of the Polish Ministry of Foreign Affairs from December 2024, when the Romanowski case was widely discussed in the public, and the ministry said, and I quote, "Should Hungary fail to meet its European commitments regarding the European arrest warrant, Poland will request the European Commission to bring an action regarding Hungary pursuant to Article 259 of the Treaty on the Functioning of the European Union." End of quote. And this means that more than a year ago, the Polish Ministry of Foreign Affairs has announced that it will start a European treaty procedure against Hungary for, let's say, hiding Mr. Romanowski. And to my understanding, nothing has been done in this matter so far. So this is very telling. So on one hand, prosecution services in the case of Ziobro has not delivered the whole evidence in December, so the court had to postpone the hearing until this Thursday. On the other hand, these European activities of the Polish government, so a potential action against a legal action against Hungary has also not materialized so far. So on one hand, we see a very misleading statement by Mr. Ziobro. On the other hand, unfortunately, we see a lack of action from the point of Polish authorities.
Patryk Wachowiec, Vice President of the Civic Development Forum, was our guest this afternoon. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching, and stay with us for more interviews here on TVP World.